In the heart of the Colombia Andes, surrounded by mountains, valleys, and fertile lands, lies the department of Cauca, one of the most culturally rich yet economically vulnerable regions in the country. Its landscape are majestic, its people resilient, and traditions alive. But behind the natural beauty, a complex reality unfolds, one marked by inequality, abandonment, and resistance. Cauca is home to more than 1.5 million people, of which nearly 2,100 belong to the indigenous community such as the Nasa, Misak, Yanacona, Coconuco, and Pioco. Most of them they live in a rural and remote areas, often hours away from the nearest hospital, schools, or private road. Their lives are shaped by the geography, but also by a history of exclusion in municipalities like Toribio, Insa, Paz, and Puracé. Poverty is not just an economic statistic, it is a daily struggle. Families rely on subsistence farming, often without access to clean water, healthcare, or quality education. According to the ANA, over the 65% of the indigenous households in rural Cauca live in multidimensional poverty, a condition that goes beyond income to affect to housing, health, education, and access to a basic service. Children walk long distance, crossing rivers and unpaved roads to reach the schools to might have no roof, no internet, and no teachers. Mothers give birth at home because the closest clinic is too far or simply doesn't exist. Entire community drained from drivers, not by choice, but by necessity. And yet, even in the face of adversity, these peoples endure the organizes, protect the culture, and defend their ancestral territories with extreme strength and dignity. For decades, indigenous communities have been at the forefront of peaceful resistance. They have faced armed conflict, state neglect, and extractive pressures, but they have also built their own form of government education and injustice. Their strength lies in their unity and their memory and deep connection to the land. Despite several social programs launched by the Colombia government, such as Families in Action (PDAT), territory focused development plans, territorio enfocado en planes de desarrollo, and the Victims and Land Restitution Law, and personas víctimas de restitución de tierras. The real impact to indigenous communities has been minimal, a lack of continuity in public policies, with desperate corruption and the failure to understand cultural context, have stunted many progress. Decisions are often made in Bogota, far from the territories they affect and rarely with the direct participation of those who know the land, the people, and the struggle. The distance is not just geography, it is political, institutional, and cultural. The path toward true transformations must be built on respect, autonomy, and participation. This means government investment in community infrastructure, schools, rural hospital routes, and promoting intercultural bilingual education.
A legacy of resistance and future to build. Is we all heard the story of Cauca indigenous people isn't about victimization. It's about unbreakable resistance. Despite broken promise and ingrained inequalities, these communities vibrate wide strange. They have defended their ancestral lands, preserved their language, and nurtured a deep connection to the earth. Yet the justice the demand goes beyond recognition. It calls for real structural transformation. The historical depth and the path to equity. Investing in rural infrastructure is fundamental. We are not just talking about roads, but ensuring every child has a dignified school, every family and every clinic, and digital access reach every corner. But this must be done in direct collaboration with communities, respecting their worldwide. Otherwise, is choose another imposition. Protecting indigenous autonomy is a key right vital for sustained development. Recognizing their governments and ancestral practice isn't sharing its wisdom. Their ancient knowledge offers genuine solutions for environment conservation and resource management benefit everyone. Empowering the new generation, the engine of change. The true engine of this transformation is the new generation. These young people, why their dual heritage unequally bright to wars. And by training and hearing indigenous youth as teachers, doctors, engineers, and leaders. We invest in human capital and ensure change comes from within, rather in their own people's dreams. Imagine an education system designed by indigenous educators or healthcare, blending ancestral medicine with modern advancements. Food, sovereign, and ecologic agriculture are more than economic models. They are ways of life. Their strength, cultural identity, community health, and resilience, rejecting external dependence for practice that regenerate lands and nourish the spirit. Listening and acting a matter of justice. But perhaps the most vital point is to listen to indigenous voice. This means more than just consultation, it means their perspectives must be the central axis of decision making at all government levels. It requires genuine political will to share power and recognize the wisdom inherent in their knowledge. The story of Caucasus indigenous peoples isn't just adversity, it's pulp of hope. In the edge of years, learning code will women and boys walk to school with future bigger than their village lies the promise of a different Cauca and a different Colombia. One that finally settled its historical depth, embraced diversity, and built future on justice, equality, and mutual respect.